We are live. Welcome back to the Battle of Develop podcast. We're here to talk about everything games. I'm Funky, and we're diving right in here with our guest Bora. And Bora, how you doing today?
I am tired. Too much school.
I like how you were trying to give like the normal internet answer where you try to pretend everything's okay, but then you're just like, why am I faking myself?
No, actually, I was wondering how dramatic I should be. I was
Oh,
just
there
like,
we go.
should I be like, oh, my life is over. My back hurts. I'm getting old.
School's really beating you up over there, huh?
It's not that it's beating me up. It's just, man, it is unjust at times.
Hey,
I just,
now's the time to
you know
take
what?
a $10,000 student loan right now.
Oh
It's about to
God,
get forgiven immediately.
is it actually?
There's talks.
Really? I have
Don't want
not
to get
heard anything about that.
don't want to get too politico, but you know me, I'm getting the news now a lot because I'm studying markets and stuff like that, right? And so basically, the word on the news is
Word on the
basically,
street.
yeah, I was about to say street, but this ain't no street play over here. Um, the news is like basically a lot of Democrats are pushing for 50,000 in student loan forgiveness,
Well, that's
which
a
is a
thing.
lot.
I wish that was in, what, 5 years ago? 6 years ago now?
Pretty much, right? But Biden is refusing because he could do that with an executive order, but he doesn't feel like he has the right to, which it's possible, but he just doesn't want to. So
Well, politics, whether it's a good idea or not, it's not my wheelhouse.
yeah, but he did say that he is open to 10,000. So you better take out those loans quick.
God.
Yeah, think of what you can do with
Loans
$10,000.
loans for what? What school? It's community college right now.
Exactly, that still counts. It's student loans.
Yeah,
Anything student loans.
you know how hard it is to get 10K in community college student loans?
Oh, just say you're gonna jack off on a bunch of books and stuff.
I need to pay for my textbooks and my supplies and
I thought they wanted
gas.
to give you loans
I have
so that
no
they can
idea.
trap you. That's how loans work.
Yeah.
I can't even get a loan anymore.
I just stay away from student loans.
I'm so sad. Venmo came out with a new credit card. I can't even get it.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Is it?
Corona, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have any income.
Unfortunate for you. Oh yeah.
Well, solid income because I'm kind of just absorbing
Floating for
fees.
now.
Yeah. But
Well,
I wanted
hopefully
to.
you join the employed route and you stop being a neat. Cough.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm actually enjoying being a neat right now. I'm feeling good. This week was pretty good in terms of production for me, actually. So I'm pretty happy about it.
Mhm.
How about you? You
I
you
mean,
you're really dying
in
over
terms of
there.
production, I have caught up with all of my schoolwork, so now I need to kind of work ahead to take advantage of the fact that I'm not behind for the first time in 2 years. That's always nice. I might have some free time to actually start working on my idea, but I mean,
That free time is gonna go out the window because you're gonna have some responsibility when Ryan comes over.
what responsibility? Man, Ryan doesn't have any responsibility.
You're gonna have to watch over him, feed him. Then you gotta
Look,
show
how
him a
hard
movie.
is it going to be to take care of Ryan more than I already take care of a dog? Look at this thing. He literally is just always an attention needy little baby.
It just sucks that me and Jen aren't there to kind of be
Yeah,
there,
it's unfortunate.
alleviate you, because
8 hours away.
yeah,
No way, man.
yeah. I mean, you guys still have the chance to come up here if you really want to, but
Dude, I barely liked it the first time.
yeah.
Not the coming up and seeing you guys. That was nice. But the car ride was terrible, and I hate long drives. They're
You're
not my
gonna have to
thing.
get ready for that car ride again, because that San Francisco trip you guys are planning to do.
That's in a year. It's not next month, dude.
Hey, just telling you, you gotta think about it. I've been thinking about that trip nonstop. It's always on my mind.
It's not on my mind. I am worried about the right now for now.
I have to worry about like so many people's like budgets and stuff to make it possible. You know what I mean?
Look, man, if you were just a rich old man, this would be no problem. You could just pay for everyone. Why can't you be rich?
Is that your dog like
It
purring in
is
the
my
background?
dog. Yep, he is in the room and he is on my lap, being a whiny baby.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hang
so
hang on. Let me put him down. Professionalism at its finest. Oh, all right, I'm back. We're live.
but yeah, just as a reiteration, we're planning on going to Lake Tahoe. I plan trips way in advance, so
I think you've talked about it like every podcast at this point.
you pretty much just to make sure people who are kind of unknown to this situation.
Yeah. You gotta let everyone know what you're doing.
I just hope. I hope.
Is this his address? Here's his phone number. His bank pin number.
No. So I was
His
thinking
daily
about it
route.
earlier today, and I was like, man, Bora's gonna have to pick people up on his drive up to San Francisco at LAX,
Yeah, that's not that weird.
and then drive them from LAX to Santa Cruz to San Francisco, and then end up in Stockton if he doesn't want to pay for an Airbnb in San
Yeah, it's
Francisco.
not weird. It's just whatever, really.
Something like that.
I mean, whatever. Like we had that drive from Vegas. What was it, like a 5-ish hour drive
Yeah.
from um, LA to Santa Cruz is not too much further.
Speaking
And
of
at least there, it's kind of a break, and then there to SF, and then there to Stockton, and then there to Tahoe.
speaking of trips, me and Jen have been trying to find like some camping spots all around.
Good God, do you have time to go camping? Are you sure?
Well, we want to. Well, what do you mean?
All right, are you going to be productive enough to warrant a trip?
It's just weekend camping trips, not
Uh-huh,
like anything
uh-huh,
too big. One
uh-huh,
night,
uh-huh.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes,
One night
I
fighting
am
the werewolf in the
still
town.
behind on 4 games 4 months. But you know what? These two little inspirations for it are gonna bring me far. I think. I think Hot Pot Hustle. If this iteration works, I'm done with Hot Pot Hustle. Like easy, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Is a Hot Pot Hustle. Give you the full pitch. Tell
Is
me
it
what you think.
truly? All right.
But before we dive in, I gotta ask you. You have any questions for me? Last time I took a little charge of the podcasto. If you wanted to talk about something, welcome. I'm giving you the floor right now.
Look, man, this is like a homework assignment. I only came up with something because the professor told me I had to have something prepared. Teacher didn't call on me, so I'm perfectly fine.
All right, all right.
Like, do you have any idea how difficult it is to come up with interesting talking points when all I've been doing is studying Japanese stats and accounting for the last, 3 weeks? Like, there's nothing interesting going on. Like, I can't even say anything interesting
You
in
talk
Japanese
about your
because,
school life and all the cute college girls you meet. Cough,
yeah,
cough.
all the cute college girls that I meet uh, in my online class that, half the time people don't show up to.
You don't get their like phone
Totally.
number through Zoom or something. Like you can't.
Dude, what the fuck do you think that what do you think online classes are like? You think this is like Tinder? I mean, not like Tinder worked for me anyway. Jesus Christ.
I figured it'd work somehow. I don't
It's
know.
Jesus. Look, dude, I wasn't getting phone numbers before. I'm not getting phone numbers now.
All right, all right.
Being rude and insulting, and
All
I
right.
will not have any of this.
Let's talk.
You little
Let's
shit.
talk Hot Pot Hustle, and we'll talk all the other games. Give you a little bit more in depth on how that's all going. Okay.
Alright.
So
Lay it
Hot
on me.
Pot Hustle. Okay. I sent you a message like probably like a couple days ago, and I was like, "How bad would it be if I went full degenerate on this game?" Now, I want to be clear. I've never made a degenerate game. Okay. Let's be honest.
What do you even mean by degenerate game? And also, this is exactly why I was worried about having being in a public call. People are just gonna join. You know that, right?
Oh, it's okay if Zero joins. I told Zero he can join anytime.
Oh Lord,
So I think
ladies
he's here
and
just to
gentlemen,
listen in.
お楽しみはこれからだ.
How's it going, Zero? Welcome to the badly developed podcast. If you want to speak, you're welcome to say anything. But I'm gonna go on. Okay, so Boar, check this out.
Am I
Can you say
actually
something
allowed to be
really?
here?
Can you say something really political and or racist?
No, please don't.
Get removed immediately from the internet.
Oh no, don't make this hard for me, guys. Please.
Hashtag not my president.
No, the question is, which one are you talking about?
Okay.
It could go either way.
Okay.
What a
Let's back
monster.
up.
I believed in you, Zero. I believe.
Zero. I was talking about the game I'm making. It's a game called Hot Pot Hustle. I actually never told Zero about this game, so I'll give
No,
a little.
you did tell me a little.
Oh.
You told me that it exists.
Okay. I told you it exists. You have no idea what it is.
This trap shot.
Okay, check this out. Okay, so we got this beautiful game about eating hot pot food, stealing other people's food.
Yes.
You know?
Did you tell him how terrible the first version was?
Yeah. So I made an iteration of the first iteration of Hot Pot Hustle, and it was a very strategic numbers game.
You know what? It was a better Iron City than Iron City.
No.
It completely fulfilled the fantasy of Iron City without being Iron City. He literally made a better version of the game we've been trying to do for 4 years now.
No,
Literally,
it was not.
It was
Stop
way
saying that.
better.
It's not.
Way better.
It is not. It is not way better. There's a
It,
lot
it,
of.
it, it evoked that feeling of just hard calculation in order to screw the other people over.
That's not what Iron City's supposed to do.
Absolutely what it's supposed to do. What do you mean?
We'll get to Iron City later, because that one has its own idea. Anyway, Hot Pot Hustle. So the idea is, the original idea, it was you have a bunch of ingredients, you put it inside the pot. Usually there's 4 sections to the pot. You feed into it. Bad ingredients can take away from a pile, and good ingredients that are more highlighted in the pot gets you more points. And eventually, you would choose one of the piles to eat, and then whoever has the best pile to eat won that hot pot. And then the game was revolved around the idea that whoever won the most hot pots would win the entire game. And it was very systematic, and I thought that's what I wanted, but I was feeling it later, and I was like, this is really, I'm not really happy with this game. It invokes the feeling of rage when someone else eats your food, yes, but it invokes rage of systematic oppression kind of thing.
It feels like I'm being stuck in a prison and I'm trying to get out. Exactly. What did I tell you? It's Iron City.
So anyway, I was looking at my game repertoire, and I was looking at all the games we've ever made, and I was like, man, I really never really dived into a degenerate kind of game. You know what I mean?
Okay, what do you mean by degenerate? You've said that word a lot, and I'm like, what is degenerate?
As in the gameplay itself is degenerate, or the game
I mean, even then it's really vague.
Both. When I say degenerate, I mean it like this. It means that the mechanics
are
are
gonna have
really.
Boobies in the hot pot. Are we gonna have boobies in the hot pot? Is that what?
Anyway,
let's see.
The mechanics are very.
Go dictionary.com and look up degenerate.
What I'm trying to say is that the mechanics are shallow. Does that make sense? So they're not too complex. They're very, very light.
That's
no
not really
complexity at all.
Though. I don't think you know what degenerate means.
It doesn't require the game will not require you to think very hard in terms of numbers and stuff. I don't want to number crunch your mind. And I keep saying the word degenerate because the reason why is because it will become kind of stupid in terms of how ridiculous the gameplay will start looking like. Okay. Why are you linking me degenerate?
No, I'm not linking you. I'm just linking
All
it.
right, Urban Dictionary. Someone who is a disgrace to society, a consumer but not a producer, a taker but not a giver. Someone who has declined in morals and spends most of his times partying, having sex, drinking heavily, and doing all that while being a general neat.
How do you be a general neat? Like, you either are or you aren't.
I have no idea. So
This is
the
a
new concept.
terrible definition, by the way.
So the new concept of hot pot hustle is this, and I'm gonna give you two games that kind of like I think uh give you an idea of what the game's gonna be like. All right. Okay. Here you go. You ready? 52 pickup and King's Game. Those are the two games I'm kind of like building this game off of. Okay. All right. Any reactions right now before I explain
Well,
the game?
both of them can be considered degenerate games, I guess.
I
There you
mean,
go.
sure. You can stretch the definition of degenerate to include 52 pickup, but I
That's
mean,
my boy
52
Zero.
52
helping me
pickup
out.
is more of being an asshole.
The point of, well, it is below a normal or desirable level in physical, mental, or moral qualities.
Are you looking at the definition still?
Yes.
Oh god.
So I went full party game mode on this production for Hot Pot Hustle. So the game plays like this. Okay, you take a deck of ingredient cards. If you don't remember the ingredients for, you have things like chicken and steak, and then a
Why are
bunch of
you telling me
vegetables.
I played the game? Address is
I'm just
0.
trying to
Or
reiterate
the
for Zero
chat.
as well. And I said, if you don't remember.
How do I not remember your exceedingly simple game about putting uh, different colors into a pot and matching pictures?
It could be that he refuses to remember.
No,
There
I
you
remember it. It was Iron City, just different.
Anyway,
Different
you take all these ingredients and you kind of throw them on the table. They can all slide off the table. It doesn't really matter. But the point is, you want to throw like all the cards on the tables. Okay. So the point of the game is to once again still complete a meal. You want to eat the best meal, right? So there'll be like for now, there's a showcase hot pot, maybe 5 ingredients that are needed to have the best meal, right? So let's say like it's a bunch of carrots and vegetable stuff, right? Since all the cards, most of the majority will probably be face down or face up, there's a big scatter of things. So you're really looking through this scatter of cards that was thrown. You can be like a little bit more graceful, keep them all face down. But you're basically looking through all these cards to find the ingredients to match the hot pot so that you can win that pot. So every round, everybody gets to flip over one card. Okay. So just more information for the table. Okay. And then everybody draws from this deck, and it's like the King Games version of the card, where you draw it and it gives you a prompt to do before you pick up a card or an ingredient that you're going to eat that round. So, for example, you can draw something like spin in a circle 20 times, you know what I mean, before picking up a card. Or another person can get a prompt that goes like, you can pick up your card, but you can't use your hands.
Wait a minute,
You know
this is
what I mean?
starting to sound like a really shitty version of, or really shitty upgrade of My Society game.
Yeah.
Ah, degenerate gameplay indeed.
There you go. See,
Fine.
Zero?
I wouldn't even call that degenerate. It's just,
It's a party
I
game.
mean, it is below the standard of quality that one would expect. So,
what is no quality that we expect here?
um,
Exactly. Thank you, Zero. Thank you very much. Thank you for proving
We
my
only
point.
make high quality games here at Money Buckets.
Yeah, we only produce the best and then never release them. We're too good for the world.
I hope you enjoy
Also,
it. The
really-
highest quality that we'll never produce.
You monster. Don't
But
insult
anyway,
the name.
So basically, it's a race to. So let's say like you both see like a carrot card in the middle, right? And it's the only carrot card that's revealed, and you both have to draw a card of a prompt that you have to like keep towards, like a rule from King's Game. Basically, that's how it goes. You know what I mean? You basically have to enact the rule and then utilize it to draw the card and keep it in your inventory. Whoever collects all the cards wins the pot, and whoever wins the most pots wins the game. And it's pretty simple like that.
Game, really?
What?
Am I thinking of a different King's Game?
King's Game. The traditional game of drawing sticks, and then whoever gets the good stick gets to order people with the bad sticks to do things.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the drinking game. The 1, 2. I don't know. That's what they called it. King's Game to me.
Yeah, it's not really a drinking game though. And basically the point is one person draws a certain stick, and then they get to order people around.
Okay.
Unless Kenneth's thinking of something different.
No. According to Wikipedia, there is a difference between the King Game, which is the Japanese party game that we're probably thinking of, and King's, in parentheses, game that Kenneth is probably thinking of. There's a very important distinction here. We are not thinking about the same thing.
Oh, well, yeah, anyway, okay. I guess we are the degenerates, Bora.
Look, man, we're thinking of a Japanese party game. He's thinking of a drinking game. I'm not sure who is more degenerate in this situation.
Anyway, it's a game of like rules that you have to follow to grab the card that you want, and that's basically how the game's played. And I might throw in some spice, both in the rule set deck, where basically you're drawing to find out what your prompt is, or just throwing stuff into the ingredient pile. Say like you're trying to grab, like, you don't see anything in the pile, right? Like of all the cards that are flipped, nothing goes with the pile. So of course you're gonna go for a blind, card. Those cards could do more effects. You know what I mean? Like a spicy chili, or something in the hot pot itself. Because basically you're doing something before you go into the hot pot, which is the deck of cards, and that's why it's called Hot Pot Hustle. Yay!
I'm gonna be honest. I was looking at the Wikipedia page and I just glossed over everything you just said.
I'm too busy being smooth-brained to understand any of what Kenneth just said.
Oh my goodness!
You're gonna have to give me like a picture diagram, man. How are we supposed to understand how to play the game if you just kind of shout the rules at me?
You're right.
Yeah, okay, I'm a visual learner. I'm gonna need to see some diagrams.
Oh, this is perfect. We're all our
presentation.
So let's see.
Are we gonna load up the tabletop?
Paint. No, I got this. And then I'm gonna go into screen share mode.
The best part is that no one is going to be able to see this.
It's okay. I'll
post it. Say you're streaming League of Legends. I don't want to watch this.
Wait, am I streaming? No, it says Paint. I'm streaming Paint. Okay. So you get your deck of cards. Okay. Boop 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 boop.
Let me send this picture to you. There you go.
All right, you got these beautiful deck of cards, and let's say one of them is a beautiful apple. And
I don't know why apple would be in a hot pot. What are you doing, mate?
So just to let everyone who is listening understand what is going on the screen right now, Kenneth has drawn the Japanese flag, fighting 4 French flags. Now he's facing the Japanese flag by, I don't know, wiping his green snot on. What is that?
It's an apple.
Bro, no
I don't know. It's a tomato. Let's go with the tomato.
There's absolutely no apple that looks like that.
A tomato would actually make sense.
Okay, you know what? This would be easier in Photoshop.
It kind of looks like a plum. Because, I mean, tomatoes and apples are perfectly round like that.
Let me save this.
If I turn my head to the side, it looks like the Japanese flag is bordering green.
All right, let me go into Photoshop.
I think that was intentional. I feel like we're being attacked. This is a political podcast now.
Okay. Everybody relax. Everybody chill.
Sir, do you not hear my chill voice? I am nothing but chill right now.
Okay.
This is the kind of picture I need in order to understand how to play this stupid game.
How many it is. You're a monster.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's just do a file new. Let's just get a nice big default photo size. I'll create it.
I still love
Beautiful.
the accidentally drawn monster zones. Both of them.
And then we want to go into my game files and let's see here. Oh wait, wrong one. So
Wouldn't Infernity be ballers? They have pendulum monsters.
Oh my god. I like how people complained about the field changing because of pendulums. They're like, "Oh, we have to keep track of 2 extra zones, and now we have to keep track of 2 extra zones in the center and columns." And I haven't heard anyone say jack shit about that.
Because they changed the 2 extra zones of something to something else, and it's just like, whatever, who cares?
God, people just kept complaining about pendulums, and now we've got just the most degenerate just summon loops going on anyway. At least penduluming you can only do once a turn.
okay, here we go. I got
This is
it.
now the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast.
We have the visuals you need. All right. So we
Is
got
it going to
here.
be edited in post?
No, it's not. It's never going to
Oh,
be edited.
dear.
Everything you say can and will be used against Kenneth.
You guys are about to see my terrible Photoshop.
Hashtag not my game developer.
Okay, so this is a stake card. Beautiful, isn't it?
Also, sir,
Uh-huh.
this game called Kings, I don't see how it has a has a victory condition, sir.
What victory condition are you?
King me.
Okay, so okay, so you see
have to murder all the other kings. Got it.
So you see the beautiful piece of steak in there, right? So sometimes
What
you don't
are
know.
you,
If that's
you know you're not streaming, right?
Wait, what the heck?
Do you
Because you were
understand how it
streaming
works?
Paint, so when you close Paint, you close the stream.
Okay, here we go.
Do you,
Oh,
do you understand how streaming works? You're
Okay,
gonna make a
look.
great live streamer.
So imagine these two as like 2 cards, right? And then you
Did this
draw.
guy just look up a freaking picture of chicken and beef to import into Photoshop? Excuse me, you know this is copyrighted, right? I'm pretty sure
First
these
of all,
pictures are copyrighted.
these are purchased by me already.
Oh, fancy.
I know what I'm doing over here.
You bought
I'm
the
sure
game
you are.
assets already? Oh
Yeah.
dear. Are we gonna?
He doesn't even have a game. I'm so proud of you.
Are we participating in an asset flip? I'm not sure how
Oh
I
my
feel about
god,
this
we
one.
might be. We might be. Did you buy the assets for those card pictures as well?
How is it what?
The card pictures. Did you pay for those black squares?
Okay, so basically the deck or the table will be
Also,
filled
sir, I
with a
think you
bunch
need
of.
to have a commercial license for Photoshop to be using it in this way, sir. Sir, I have to report you to the proper authorities.
Anyway, so the table will be
This
full of
podcast
cards.
has gone completely off the rails. I'm so proud of you.
Basically with a bunch of
myself.
ingredients like this. So it has like chicken, has the steak, and most of them will be face down because you would want a lot of them to be in mystery, right? So basically what's going to happen is everybody's going to draw a rule. So let's say 0, you draw a rule that says you can pick up cards but without your hands. Bora, you have to count to 3 Mississippi before you draw cards, and me, I have to strip a piece of clothing before I pick up a card. Okay, so basically, we know that the
Wait, are all these
objective-
happening at the same time?
yes, everybody draws a rule card at the same time. Does that make sense?
I feel like there's no accountability here.
What do you mean accountability?
It's just like
It's a party game. Like you just follow the rules of the game, and then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like with a game like
That
this, you
doesn't
have to be
sound quite right.
Well, hey, like in terms of all party games, like no shame charades, people make sounds and noises all the time. We don't like butt hole them. You know what I mean? So it's just a party game where everybody
who the
kind of
fuck
like
is he playing charades with that they make noise during charades?
oh they do, especially when you play no shame charades, which I can't wait to watch Zero participate in.
I'm not participating in this farce.
Okay, so basically, let's say we all want beef, right, for this hot pot that we're trying to do because we're trying to complete just this hot pot card, and whoever gets all 3 ingredients for this hot pot wins the hot pot. Like they basically had the best meal. Does that make sense? No, you don't get it, or nope
Wait,
as in.
say that again?
Okay, so remember how in the old game, right?
Yes.
A hot pot would consist of 3 main ingredients, right? So, for example, let's say there is a classic miso hot pot, right? And that hot pot would like beef, it would like green onions, and it would like
Has
tofu.
Kenneth ever had miso?
I'm just
Go
roll
on.
with me.
Go
Clearly.
on. Go on.
Just roll with me here, okay? So basically you have these 3 ingredients to build the hot pot, right? Since all the ingredients are face down and only a couple are faced up, you're trying to find the 3 ingredients first before everybody else does. So basically, now that you, Zero, and I have drawn our rule card, we will try to find and pick up 1 card, and we can only pick up 1 card because it's the 1 round.
I don't see any need to follow the rules here.
Okay, there you go.
No one can stop me.
There it is. There it is. And then bam! There's the beef card revealed, because every round you flip over 1 card based off of how many players there are. So like every player will be able to flip only 1 card out of the, let's say, 60 card stack that we have all around the hot pot. And then, everybody just tries to grab the steak piece that's revealed or not revealed. You know what I mean? And whoever completes the pot first wins. Very simple game. You are right about the oversight of rules. I'm not going to deny that that is not a problem I foresee with this game. But
It's okay. I just took several rounds at once. That all those rounds were only several microseconds long.
Anyway,
Wait, so is the 52 pickup part, like, is that only to set up the board?
Yeah, it's a set of the
Pretty
board.
much.
That is a waste of 52 pickup, dude. That's
Yeah, that is quite a shame.
you flip up, how do you set the board then? Do you just toss it in the air like an actual 52 pickup? Because it sounds like you want half of them to be face up and half of them to be face down.
No, I want it to be random, basically, because it doesn't matter if it's face up or face down, because they both have their interesting interactions, whether they're face up or face down. You know what I mean? And they also have their interesting interactions on where they set on the table or on the floor. Because if it lands on the floor, that's even greater. You know what I mean? Because then cards are everywhere, and you're trying to, build a hot pot doing ridiculous commands while the cards are literally spilled everywhere. You know what I mean? Kind of like this chaotic, fun game that I'm trying to think of.
I'd have more fun with chaos confetti.
Chaos confetti.
I think I'd just have more fun with actual 52 pickup.
Well, of course you're gonna play 52 pickup because the loser always has to pick up the game. You know what I mean? Bam, easy game. Easy game. And that is Hot Pot Hustle. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say that.
That is the dumbest meme that's ever been invented. I just thought I'd put that out there.
Anyway, so
It's
yeah,
definitely the one word.
that's basically Hot Pot Hustle in a nutshell. Are there problems with the game? Yeah. Like, you are right. Like, the rule, like, how do I get someone to follow the rules? It's a big thing. And I don't know, like,
well, even just ignoring that, I'm trying to visualize the flow of gameplay here.
Mhm.
What, you throw the deck into the air,
you can
all
throw it,
falls
you can
down,
you can, like,
and then you have another deck for rules
Mhm.
that people draw from.
Mhm.
And then each round they have to do the thing and then pick up 1 card.
Mhm.
And then every round after that, you just flip over 1 card.
Yep.
1 card for the whole game, or 1 card per person?
1 card per person. So
then you
just to
just
get you more
draw
information.
Then you just draw more rules and.
Mhm. Yeah, pretty simple. Silence in the air.
Thinking.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it. It is a party game. I mean, what's another party game that we own that we play?
I mean, really, you can call anything a party game.
Yeah, could. But this is more on the, drunk fun side, This is definitely like one of those games that's going to be like I could write an adult, a not safe for work version, or I can make, a kind of vanilla version of it. You know what I mean? Like you can have like some not safe for work like commands. You know what I mean? Slash rules. I don't know. I don't really know what to call that deck yet.
Is there a market for adult party games?
I mean, I'm not
Yes.
gonna say there ain't no market, but
I'm just like, is there a substantial market? Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's where all the money is being made right now. Just adult party games.
Adult party games?
Well,
Like, I could believe party games played by adults, but I don't know
first of
about
all,
like.
it doesn't have to be coming out as an adult version. You know what I mean? But like, there's tons of like games that come out with not safe for work versions of their game. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
but I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
like, because the thing that differentiates a game like this from like exploding kittens by like having the not safe for work version is yours is based on actions. And let me put it this way: I would not feel comfortable doing not safe for work actions around friends and family because I'm sorry, Kenneth. I do not find you even minimally attractive to me.
You say
for
that.
for me to do anything I would consider not safe for work with you.
Well,
I gotta
you
be
say
honest,
that.
something safe for work I wouldn't do with you.
You say that, but I think the big thing to know is that the most played game in my group for Penn Island is No Shame Charades. Everybody
Yeah, but
just
that's let me put it this way. No Shame Charades is the charade of an action. That's different from telling someone to do an action.
Well, I'm not gonna say give a man a blowjob. What the?
Yeah, you can pretend to give a blowjob. That's why No Shame Charades is hilarious. Because you're pretending to do something that you generally normally wouldn't freaking do. You can play that in much larger groups because it's funny because it's taboo and you're pretending to do it. You're not actually doing it. What are you gonna do in this game? Like you're gonna tell someone, pretend to hump the table. Okay.
Okay.
You're just gonna tell people to pretend to do things. It's just you just made No Shame Charades then. At that point.
We'll see. It depends on how the prompts go. I will say, like, the game is built off of, like, my creativity and how, like, what I can do that makes it fun and what makes it unfun I have to take out. Does that make sense? So,
what funny things can you do?
But I think there are a lot of funny things. And I think there's, like, a limitless opportunity for it. And I think it's in the right direction. I think Hot Pot Hustle, when I first thought of the idea, I wanted a fun, cute, kind of hilarious game, and I'm going to make that. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm pushing.
I don't think you would assign cute to this idea, sir.
Well, I pitched the not
Fun
safe
and
for work
hilarious,
version of it, but it'll be hilarious. It'll be funny to watch like other people like doing what they have to pick up the ingredient card. Who gets there first?
Yes, I don't know. One of the issues here is just like one of the biggest things is because everyone's doing everything simultaneously, you're not watching anyone else do anything because technically you should be doing your own thing.
Okay.
So everyone would
take that into consideration.
Be isolated. Something I guess that would be if you wanted to kind of like force interactions, then you could take more from I'd say the Japanese Kings game, where you have it instead of having everyone do the thing, you could have, one person selected as king and then tell two people, they have to do their prompts and then see who gets, the items first or something like that. Because that way you have actors, you have an audience, and you have a controller, which makes it a lot more segmented in, that way two people can focus on duking it out and everyone can just enjoy the show.
You know what? That's a good idea. I can make it like someone's like the host of the hot pot party, and then he has two people fight over the ingredient in the hot pot, and bam, whoever gets the first bite, and then it keeps like trading side by side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it probably would be a little bit better like that.
See, this is why I come to you, Bor. You're such a smart guy.
I just think that this. Let me put it this way: I think this idea has so many issues that any idea would have been good.
Hey, I think it'll work. I think it will work just fine, Bora.
I think you're too focused on the degenerate side of the game that you're not thinking of whether or not it would actually be
The
a good
gameplay
game.
is so degenerate that it can't even be called gameplay anymore.
It's not even a game, really. It's just people doing things.
Well, I want it to be fun and be cute and have a little small objective.
No cute. No, stop cute. Stop
No.
saying cute. No cute.
No
The
cute.
word
no
cute
no
is
cute.
degenerate.
No cute.
There you
Yeah,
go.
look, if
I
you want to
don't-
be degenerate, you have to
I
say
like the cute,
kawaii.
Just imagine degenerate.
No,
There
no,
you
no.
go.
Every time you say instead of saying cute, if you want to be degenerate, you have to say kawaii.
Kawaii.
Very, very kawaii.
It is the very kawaii.
I'm so proud of him. look what we've created, Zero.
Thank
He
heaven.
used to fight with me, telling me that he wasn't a gamer. Now he's just gone completely off the deep end. Oh, the good old days.
All right.
If only I had stayed quit gaming.
Oh, the good old days. Can we
Zero didn't
recreate
put me
that
in
one
the
day?
dirt hard enough when he beat me with the dragon capture jar.
It wasn't even Dragon Capture. I was Super Poly. Freaking. Oh, it was so good. Literally the best.
Oh boy. All right. Anyway, so now
Yes. Now.
speaking of all these games, that's Hot Pot Hustle in a nutshell. Still working on it. Still like in its infancy stages, but doing well. Because it's got like a better path. Iron City has been reworked a bunch. And I want to tell you about how that was going as well. I don't know if you're gonna get much off of what I'm gonna say because I can't really make visuals for this Iron City. But we ran into a lot of problems because there's a lot of with Iron City we created so many elements, right, and tested so many ideas that I'm almost like cherry picking at this point, where I'm going like, I like this concept the most out of like this iteration that I made, and I want to try to include that in a game, and I keep trying to like slap all these ideas that I created throughout the years of making Iron City into a game together, kind of like what's the glue that makes it all stick is what I've always been trying to find out, you know what I mean? And so when I say like, okay, what are these pieces that I'm trying to make stick together? Well, like the first one, of course, is the guard mechanic, where basically you have these corgi guards or the warden guard kind of like looming over you. And then, of course, you have like I really like the idea of escaping off of someone else's like rioting kind of effects. You know what I mean? So basically, taking advantage of other players' strategy, basically, to kind of get yourself even more ahead. So kind of like skipping the line, basically.
I think you should have just doubled down on the funny dog idea.
Oh, that's exactly what I was rethinking. Is like, yeah, I'm actually gonna double down on the funny dog idea. So now so remember how like Iron City, the way it was made, like the last iteration that you remember.
I'm
It
worried
was-
about what you're about to say because I think you're
no,
missing my point.
Well, basically, what happened was like we made it where it had like 3 cell blocks basically, and there would be 3 guards, right?
Mm.
And then once you cause enough trouble, the guards would flip over, right? And I was like, I really like the idea of the guards flipping over, but you really feel disconnected from the guards by just playing, into a cell block. So I'm switching it up a little bit. And right now, the new iteration, it's all about the guards kind of being at your door. So basically, everybody gets a guard, like literally in front of them. And they have to play with this card in front of them that can be flipped by other people at any time. Does that make sense? And so basically, the whole new idea is that you're kind of like a guy in his cell, right? Like his individual cell. And you're trying to play cards to, do things. So basically, you're trying to riot, you're trying to like cause a commotion, or you're trying to like collect escape tools, or you're enacting an escape plan. And basically, other people can tell the guard, "Hey, this guy is causing too much trouble. Go check him out." But if the guard that was assigned to you is like a corgi, I mean, you're lucky. You know what I mean? Like it's easy living right there. But if it's like the warden, all your field or basically your cell block, the play field that you're playing in, that all gets revealed, except for one thing, which is the kind of theory I'm going with, because like you have your little secret stash, the return of Boris' secret stash. Um, and basically, like you get caught, and then you get a new rotation of guards uh, for you. And I'm thinking like really playing off of the guard mechanic of having someone always looming over you. So you always feel this pressure of like, am I gonna get away with this? As opposed to feeling the pressure from your fellow like cadets, or not cadets, your fellow inmates. Um, Instead of like the inmates messing you over, right? It's the inmates kind of ratting on you to the game, and then the game messing you over. Does that make sense?
First of all, no, that still technically feels like other people are screwing you over. And
Yeah.
second, yeah, you obviously missed my point about it, but
Well, I think you wanted me to go really hard on the dog motif, I guess.
let me put it this way. Right now, from what I'm hearing, like
Mhm.
you either it doesn't matter if they're dogs or not because you've got good guards and you've got ineffective guards. You could just make them sleeping guards if that's
Mhm.
if that's the case. But I was thinking, I think it'd probably be a lot more interesting and definitely more memorable if you doubled down on the dog running a prison idea. There's just one warden, and the dogs are doing their job. They're not very good at it, and they can't really be controlled. And so they're kind of this random force of just woof woof nature running around the prison. And I thought that it might be a more interesting premise if you built the identity of the game around the fact that you are a bunch of prisoners trying to escape this prison that is being run by just literally a bunch of dogs.
So I actually was like I agree with you on that, right? Like I'm trying to push the dog motif a little bit harder than I was before, and that's why I think the first step towards that is by putting the dogs kind of like in front of you, so you always know that there's
I
someone.
don't think that makes a difference.
I know it sounds like that, but this opens up a lot of like avenues for me to play around with the guards themselves. You know what I mean? Adds more guard manipulation to like guard interaction. Um because yes, it could be a sleeping guard, it could be something like that, but I'm talking about like now that the guards are in front of you, they are heavily manipulatable in both thematic terms of their dogs. So if they smell something in your, like if they smell something in your cell block, like then they'll like run in based off of like what your board's looking like, um, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Like basically, it would be everything that you're doing is always being loomed on by the dogs, and the dogs will have a higher interaction rate with the player than they did in the older iterations. And I think that opens it up more, you know what I mean, than what it originally was. Is it the perfect idea? Not yet, but it might be the right step as opposed to where I was going. Because you say like, "Ooh, I really want like this. I really want you to make a crazy prison full of dogs, run by dogs and stuff like that." But how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like, how do we make a prison game just full of dogs? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
that's the point, isn't it? Of
yeah.
the whole
And
idea
so
behind game
the best
design.
Yeah, so the best thing I can come up with is like the dogs are always there, and you have dog themed items like rolling around in these cell blocks, causing commotion and chaos. You know what I mean? Uh, and it basically just goes downhill from there. You know what I mean? Like, and I kind of snowball into this thematic of dogs running a prison, warden kind of giving himself away because he's not a dog, and et cetera, it keeps kind of rolling like that, you know. So I mean, that's basically where Iron City is right now. It's hard to really play around with it a lot. I've been throwing out so many cards, throwing in new cards. But yeah, I'd really want to kind of bleed into more of the doggy aesthetic of like just like these prison dogs like on the other side sniffing your door, really being there to catch you. You know what I mean? And you having to be crafty enough to distinguish whether a human's on the other side of the door or the majority of the time the dog be on the other side of the door, and also what type of dog is going to be on the other side of the door. I mean, because Gennifer drew those amazing like riot dogs, and of course those like uh inspector dogs, and then of course you have your degenerate dogs. I don't know if we can call dogs degenerates because they technically have a job in a prison, so they're not needs.
That you're making a terrible, terrible assumption that all degenerates are unemployed.
But yeah, so that's what I'm going with, and I'll let you know more of the progress as it goes on. But basically, the big change now is that guards are in front of you as opposed to you playing in a cell block, and so everybody's kind of like playing to themselves, but also to rat on other players. You know what I mean? And we will go from there.
It's starting to kind of sound like BS.
BS?
Yeah. You're kind of playing your own game, against.
No.
And then you call the
The
guard
reason why I
on
can say it's
the
not like
person,
BS.
and then, either the guard is gonna, slam him or the guard is not.
No, the reason I don't think it's gonna be like BS is mainly because there's no mechanics in BS inside of Iron City as of right now. Like none at all. There's no like there's not a lot of bluffing, right? Because like in the end, the guards themselves are its own systematic entity that can't be fully controlled by a player, right? They can be manipulated slightly to gain your advantages.
Okay, so it's RNG BS.
Okay. I still don't see the BS.
I'm not saying it is, but from how you've explained it, it's starting to sound a lot like it. And you're gonna have to you've got an uphill battle to convince me that it's not, unless you can have like a good prototype ready to go.
Yeah, I definitely want to be able to play more prototypes. That's another big problem with being up here is just not being able to test my ideas on you. Get someone to
start
really
working on tabletop, I guess.
criticize. Yeah, I probably should.
Oh, don't worry, I can criticize you all the way from over here. Believe me. What happened to the Japanese flag, by the way? Is it still spewing out that green stuff?
Anyway, so that's Iron City in a nutshell.
Can we keep that as a graphic, by the way?
I saved it, so don't worry.
Oh lord. Can it just be the background image for this entire thing? People are gonna be like, what is that supposed to be?
Anyway.
The entire time.
Anyway. So basically, that's where we are. And then there's the other two games that are still on backburn duty. Labyrinth still is on backburn duty, which you and Gennifer are both very worried about for some reason.
Wait, say that again?
Wait, is the game just straight up called Labyrinth?
It's called Call of the Labyrinth.
Wait, did you say for some reason? You know exactly why I'm worried about Call of the Labyrinth. You agreed with me. For some reason.
What is this for some reason? I'd like to know.
So, essentially, he's making Are you still going the legacy route?
Yeah, it's a legacy
he's
kind of RPG.
A legacy RPG dungeon crawling card game. And I told him, Jen's worried because I think, what was it? She's worried it's going to be like too complicated or something.
No, she's worried about scale. Like I've never made a big game like this before, and since it's such a big game, she's worried that like I don't know how to.
I don't think legacy and large scale go together that well. I'm gonna level with you.
Okay,
I don't think it's $1.50 here.
I don't think legacy is the right word for it, Bora.
Look, man, you're the one that's describing it to me.
Well, I never said legacy.
Yeah, you did.
You did just now.
Multiple times. You've
never
been
said that.
saying it for months.
Edit that out.
Even
Edit that
if
out, Craig.
it's not in the thing. Even
Craig,
not in-
edit that out.
Shut the fuck up, Craig. No, you've been describing it as like, yeah, I've been thinking about putting more legacy elements into it. I think it'd be more interesting. And I'm like, all right, man, just whatever. You're like, yeah, I want to make it like a growing world. So like, after from one game to another, the adventures of each adventure, change how the game works for the next adventures that come by. And I'm like, all right, I mean, if you want to do it like that. And he's
Yeah,
been,
I mean,
no, for the audience,
He's been doing this for months. So don't let him forget that he tried making this a legacy game. I'm just saying.
okay. It's
Anyway,
like,
for just my perspective on this, I
Mhm.
told Kenneth that I told Kenneth that I'm worried not about the scale or anything. I'm worried about it being boring because RPGs are so rote, they're so done to death that he's really in danger of making a game that is so stock standard that I just don't care. And that's my worry.
and you know
Kevin
what?
just wants the DM.
Yeah, whatever happened to that, by the way?
All right, here we go. You're in a forest. What do you do?
I lay down and accept my fate.
There we go.
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to do it. You know I had to do it. It's in the
I
contract.
asked God what my cheat powers are.
You have a cell phone, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Status open.
It doesn't work.
No.
You don't know the voice commands.
This is the shittiest isekai ever.
And then Murder Night House Party is still on the back burner too. That's probably the least fleshed out game at this point.
I don't think it's fleshed out at all. I don't think you've given me anything about it. You're just like, it's gonna be a big game on scale. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Well, now I can
a
finally
big
explain
game.
it. So Murder Night House Party, I'm gonna be honest, it's a game built for the snowboarding trip. Okay, I don't
You already
really,
mentioned that. Go on.
yeah, I don't really intend to like do a super sale of it unless it's like it works really well. And basically, the way it works is that it's basically a portable murder mystery game.
Every murder mystery game is essentially portable, dude.
No.
You gotta define portable, like
Not
pocket
like-
sized.
A portable murder mystery,
not
but in the sense
phone?
of not on a board, but as in like you're playing Among Us in real life almost, right? So people get roles and they run around the house with the host who sets up the house with like say
I think
some
Quarter Crew already did this.
huh?
I think Quarter Crew already did this Among Us in real life.
Yeah, something like
Sounds
that.
like a crappier version of Clue.
Yeah, Clue is still a board game in itself, right? And this game is more, everybody's kind of running around this big mansion that we're going to go to.
Clue
And
is a board game in that they, can't portable a house really.
yeah. See, the thing about my game is that it will utilize the environment that it's in as opposed to just playing on a board.
Like
You know
a
what I mean?
football field.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I want to utilize the cabin that we're gonna have, and
You
kind of,
realize
like,
that I just said football field, right? And the football fields are generally like very large and open. You can see everything anyone is doing.
well, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, I want to be able to utilize.
I mean, the joke here is that there's no murder mystery if you can see them doing the murder.
That's the thing. Like, the murderer has to be really good at it.
Jesus.
Go
Go on.
And so basically, I want to make a game that will utilize a large cabin, a large setting.
So you want the LARP Among Us? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I think you were better off doing just the DMing for Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna be honest. Keep going. Keep explaining it because you haven't really explained anything.
Well, so basically, I want a game that kind of like randomly generates, like, based off of like this location, right? So basically, I want it to say, although it will work best in a large setting, I want it to go into any house and go like, okay, so as the host, all I have to do is take out this box, roll a couple die for some randomization, like things in the game, And then as people start to enter the house, or once we all gather to play, everybody gets their role. The whole house is all set up now, based off of like the hosts like setting it all up, based off of like okay, how many bathrooms does your house have? Okay, based off of the amount of bathrooms, roll this number, and it'll tell you what to do in like said and what to place in said bathroom. And so basically, little props start going everywhere, and some people have to like find clues and etc. And eventually it's used to identify the murderer, and the murderer is, of course, try to sabotage these clues by digging up his own like investigation, hiding those clues, and then killing people in the process. You know what I mean? So I want a game to really utilize its space well, and that's the kind of like thing I'm trying to go for this time. Basically a
So
game
if
that
the murderer kills someone, is that person just gonna have to LARP as a dead body the whole time?
Yeah, maybe. I haven't really decided like how I want to do
For a
them.
second, I thought you meant like actually kill someone. Is he dead or is he pretending? I can't tell.
Like maybe if you die, you're out of the game, right? And then you lose all your information or something like that. But basically, I'm trying to figure out like what happens like if I make such a super large scale game. How can it like work in terms of its time? Because like most of this game will probably be set up, right? Because like the host is gonna have to like do all the random generation
You
basically.
could literally just LARP Among Us.
Yeah. Which I think will still be fun because, like, it's going to be just a fun little murder
No, I
mystery.
mean, like, you could actually just go and do it, like, this weekend or something.
What was that? Wait, what?
You could just LARP Among Us.
Yeah, I understand that, but, like, how? You know what I mean? Like,
how?
Well, first of all, like, what? Are you going to say, like, okay, so these crew members have to do tasks. What are the tasks? Sit in the corner for 30 seconds and count 1 to 30 at every corner of the house? You know what I mean? Is that every
video of I've literally seen a video of this. People you literally just go around, you put just kind of asinine tasks everywhere, and you just have people complete them, and if they can complete them before everyone gets murdered, then you win. It's literally just Among Us.
So I don't want it to be like. So the reason why I say it's not, I don't want it to be like Among Us is because one, I want it to be like I want it to be the job of everybody to discover the murderer, because like in Among Us, if you know who the murderer it is, you don't necessarily win the game immediately. Does that make sense?
Mm.
But to win the game, the objective is to find out who the murderer is, right? And that's it, right? Once you find out who the murderer is and report it, that's that's the win, right? Like I said, lots of details to work out, but less do tasks that have nothing to do with trying to find the murderer, and more like clues strewn about the house to help discover who the killer is right now. You know what I mean? And before you get yourself cornered in a wrong area of the house, basically.
Okay, I will say
Mhm.
this is the idea I like the most, because I think that murder mysteries are, one, really fun, and two, really interactive between the people.
Mhm.
However, this is the game that I'm going to say that Jen had a problem with Labyrinth. I think this one is the most ambitious thing you could have come up with. A modular, location dependent? Yeah, location dependent murder mystery game that adapts to the locations it's in with the amount of people and just works.
Yeah.
And just doesn't suck. I think you have and this is the most uphill battle you could have made. You could have told me, hey, I want to make Call of Duty. I want to make a AAA title on my own. And I'm like, you know what? You might be able to do it. But this one,
Yeah.
like,
basically, all I'm trying to say is I want a box that's for sale that you can literally buy, and then it adapts to any house that you bring it into, and it makes a little fun murder mystery game for you to interact with. You know what I mean? where clues are strewn about the house based off of like what you're. So like when you go like when you buy this game and the host opens it, right? Basically, the host will input his house information inside the game, and the game will poop out. Basically, this is where you're gonna hide all the clues. You know what I mean? And these are the identities that are gonna, based off of like how many people you're gonna say are gonna be playing the game. It goes like, here's how many people are gonna be like innocents. This is how many killers there are. This is how many. You know what I mean? Like basically, um, you ever watch those that movie or TV show where basically everybody gets invited to a mansion, right?
That's
then
literally
someone
what a
dies in
murder
it?
mystery is. Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically like
That's where murder
what I
mysteries
wanna
come
do.
from.
Yeah, that's basically how I want to play the game, right?
I am
Basi-
aware. That's why I'm saying that you are going uphill, because those games are usually really highly engineered.
Mhm.
Because the whole point of those is to put like a trace amount of evidence around that slowly would bring people to figure out who it is. And the
Mhm.
fact that you're trying to make it like modular and essentially randomly generated, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I'm not sure if you can do it. I think if I could offer some advice, I think you might be better off like just going hard digitized with this.
Mhm.
I think you should make this is literally an app. I think that it might be better if you have I don't know if it's possible to have a location based thing so that you can have a map, you can have a game master set up sort of a locational map on a phone or a tablet or something,
Mhm.
and then everyone else could connect to a server and just download that information of where the things are, where the rooms are, where the different tasks are, what the different tasks are, and then the game could moderate on its own where you are, what happened where, and then sort of just like lead clues everywhere to find out who killed the cat. What was it? What the name? Cheryl?
Yes.
Celine? What was the name of the cat that ran over?
Sherry.
Sherry, there we go. Sherry's cat. Or was Sherry the cat? Who killed Sherry?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was me, by the way. I did it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's what and I think you're right because once again, 4 games in 4 months, it doesn't have to include that game. So basically, it could be Hot Putt Hustle, Profiled, Iron City, and Labyrinth, and then the video game could be a duo between board games and video games. So basically, like an app-based development. Great way to get started in video game development anyway, and then a partial board game that you had to buy with it. You know what I mean? So
When is your deadline?
so
March?
that deadline is a full until next year.
No, not that
so-
one. I'm asking when your deadline for the 4 games is really
So
quickly.
the 4 games deadline, it is the end of April.
End of April. I think you're screwed.
Don't tell me that.
Well, I mean, let me put it this way. Profiled was almost completely done by the new year. If you are technically starting the 4 months from January, have you actually put in that much work into Profiled? Because Profiled is essentially done.
Yeah,
Like
a good amount of
it's
work for
almost
Profiled.
there, and you can probably do some like polishing touches on it. Technically, are we including like polish and art assets into the 4 months?
It's
or are we just
polished,
talking
but not art asset. Art
Yeah,
assets are
that's what I'm asking. Are you including the art asset finish? Do you want a
no art asset finish. It is
okay? So you're just looking for
basically
a functional game.
a
By
functional
the end of the 4
play
months.
testable
Alright.
game.
So Profiled is essentially done, and you've done most of the work for that last year. You want to work on 3 more games, 2 of which are way more complicated than Profiled is. We are halfway through February.
It's okay. We'll be fine.
Most game studios can't even finish a game after 7 years. What are you trying to pull here, Kenneth?
He's trying to do 4 in 4 months. One of them's already finished. He technically has only 3. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying you're going quite pretty ambitious.
Yeah, that's the
And
word I
like, let me put it this way: you need to have a workable prototype for all 3 games. I'm not counting Profiled anymore. You're doing 3 games in 4 months, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have working prototypes that you can start tweaking at least by like mid-March. That's 3 games you have to have essentially fleshed out, because the polish is what's going to take like the most time. And I say mid-March because if any of the 3 needs like a rework, because God knows that Iron City has gone through way more reworks than it needs to. Yeah, you're gonna need that time.
Well, that's actually why I'm grateful for this talk. You know what I mean? Like, it's great that I got some really great, ideas to help flesh out some of the games. Like, you definitely helped me out with Hot Putt Hustle.
I don't even know what I said.
Well,
Oh,
it's
right,
the
the two
mechanics
people
that you
doing the game,
introduced to get it to play better, and then it's just easier to build now. So thanks for that. And then Iron City, talking about it fleshes it out. I don't have like being here alone. It's really hard to make a game. You know what I mean? So it's great. It's been working out, and I think yeah, I do have a uphill battle, and it's very like what, an 80% grade. So I'm definitely like walking sideways on this one. You know what I mean?
Wait, 8% grade on what?
Like the slope. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah. Like I'm going. It's an uphill battle. It's the 80% grade slope. I'm like literally sideways. You know what I mean?
Jen
Trying
like
to climb
rock
up a hill.
climbing?
Huh?
Does Jen like rock climbing? She could teach you how to do it.
So, but you know what? Like, I'm trying to be ambitious, and I'm trying to get as much done as I can, and I'm grateful for this talk. You know what I mean? Like, nothing went wrong. Anyway,
All right,
that's all the games.
let me give you my optimistic answer.
Mhm.
I will be so proud of you, if not including Profiled, if you finish 1 game by the end of April. I will give you my terms of victory. You have set your goal quite high, and I respect that. And I'm letting you know, if you don't finish with that goal, if you can't complete a third of it by the deadline, I'm gonna blast the fuck out of you. You have no idea.
But we're not including King Me in this, which is my side hustle project.
Yeah, stop working on extra things that aren't part of the 4 games, 4 months thing, man. You've already given yourself a good handicap by cutting out one of the games, technically. And now you've got an uphill battle with 2 more. I will give Hot Putt Hustle the benefit of the doubt, because it's technically supposed to be simpler.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got an uphill battle with the other 2.
Yeah. All right.
You know what? I will give you the victory if you make a really crappy functional game by the end of April that is not any of the other 3. You could do like a game, like our game jam in a week. Just find a prompt, make a really crappy game, and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna ship this, and I'm gonna be like, all right. I mean, I'm proud of you. Good job.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this podcast.
Boy, this is
a podcast.
Yeah, this is a podcast.
He's been recording this entire time.
I mean, like, is anything we say here qualified to be?
Look, man, you just have to upload it to the internet and call it whatever you want. This is a video game. The game is how long can you get in. The high score is to just quit.
All right, I want to thank you for joining. Zero, thanks for joining as well.
Hey,
we'll see you next time.
I didn't even say anything.
He's been silent this entire time. Kenneth, who have you been talking to?
Bye.
You've just been talking to yourself alone this
Say
whole
goodbye.
time.
Everybody say goodbye. Bye.
I refuse. This is dumb. You're dumb.